good to be signing players, but the Cleveland Browns is definitely making it their business to sign new offensive players. This news just came out about 5 minutes ago. Now, we know the offense that they've been dealt with has been horrendous. The wide receivers has been horrendous, specifically Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, I said it. Jerry Jeudy has been hot ass in Cleveland, bro.
There seems to be one guy that I'm seeing, at least this past week, who's constantly been on the receiving end of some nice passes other than Jerry Jeudy, and that is Jamari Thrash. I mean, we're talking, he's catching passes from Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, so that's clearly first-team reps. We know that. Is Jamari Thrash acting as the de facto wide receiver 2 right now at OTAs with these other, Tillman sideline and Johnson and Bell not there? Is it Jeudy and then Thrash? And I wanted to go back and look and see, okay, what was his last year in college? How did he do? And I mean, this was a guy who had, 62 receptions, 848 yards, 6 touchdowns. But the deeper metrics, he had 418 yards were after the catch. So half of his yardage came after the catch. He's a good yak player. He had 2.35 yards per route run. That's pretty nice. 11.1 ADOT.
Jimmy Haslam just forced the Cleveland Browns into a move that could quietly reshape the entire direction of this season, stepping in from the very top to push the signing of a new wide receiver specifically to support Shedeur Sanders. And the fallout from that decision could not have come at a worse possible time for Jerry Jeudy, who now appears to be standing on unstable ground after repeatedly failing to secure catchable footballs whenever Shedeur is under center, a pattern that has grown too obvious to ignore. Before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a second of this unfolding QB drama. The timing alone tells you how serious this situation has become, because the Browns officially announcing the signing of wide receiver Jamari Thrash, a 5th-round pick who has already logged 10 receptions for 107 yards this season, is not about raw production on paper. It is about intent. And the intent behind this move sends a message that resonates far louder than the stat sheet ever could. This is not a routine depth signing, not a casual roster shuffle, but a calculated decision that signals Jerry Jeudy's grip on the #1 receiver role is slipping fast, if it hasn't already loosened beyond repair. The situation escalated dramatically when Harold Fannin Jr. addressed the media in a press conference and was asked point-blank why he received 14 targets in a game where no other player on the roster saw more than 4. And his answer, "I just do what I'm told to do," quietly but powerfully confirmed what fans, analysts, and insiders had been suspecting for weeks, that the coaching staff is actively steering the offense away from Jerry Jeudy because trust has eroded behind closed doors. In that moment, this story stopped being just about a new receiver and became something far bigger, because it revealed ownership stepping in and drawing a hard line, signaling they are finished watching Shedeur Sanders get undermined by dropped passes, stalled drives, and missed opportunities. And with Jamari Thrash now entering the picture, Jerry Jeudy's future in Cleveland suddenly looks far more uncertain than anyone expected just weeks ago.
Yeah, Harold, just wondering, when you're getting so many targets like that, the way that you did, nobody else got more than 4 in that particular game, does it make it maybe a little bit harder for you to function out there because you're getting attention and they're looking at you, and therefore, maybe a ball is more likely to get picked off because they know it's going to you?
What needs to be understood right now is that what just happened in Cleveland is not a normal mid-season adjustment or a routine personnel tweak, because this was ownership stepping in and making it clear that the situation had reached a breaking point. This was Jimmy Haslam watching Shedeur Sanders deliver clean, accurate throws that repeatedly clanged off Jerry Jeudy's chest, and deciding that the problem could no longer be ignored or delayed. The Browns confirmed the signing of Jamari Thrash, and while that headline might sound minor on the surface, when you line it up with the ongoing struggles inside the wide receiver room, the timing turns this move into something explosive, especially once you factor in what insiders have been quietly saying about Jerry Jeudy behind the scenes. One insider didn't sugarcoat it at all, bluntly stating that Jerry Jeudy has been terrible in Cleveland, particularly when paired with Shedeur Sanders, and for reasons that remain difficult to explain, Jeudy appears to lose basic fundamentals whenever Shedeur is on the field, from running precise routes to securing routine catches. And that observation isn't coming from emotional fans or hot take artists. It's coming from people breaking down every snap and noticing a pattern that has become impossible to dismiss.
On the sidelines between Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur Sanders after the Cleveland Browns took a beat to the San Francisco 49ers 26-8 at home, and Jerry Jeudy was not happy, and it seemed like him and Shedeur Sanders had a heated discussion on the sideline where they had to be set.
Jerry Jeudy simply does not play the same when Shedeur Sanders is throwing him the football, and not in a positive way, but in a way that raises serious questions about reliability, trust, and accountability. The Browns later confirmed through their official account that they signed Jamari Thrash along with guard Garrett Dellinger. But Thrash is the move that truly matters here because it directly impacts Shedeur's evaluation window. And when you understand that Jamari Thrash is a 2024 fifth-round pick who has appeared in 9 games this season, his arrival at this precise moment signals that the organization is no longer satisfied with the status quo, no longer confident in the current receiving core, and increasingly concerned about what Jerry Jeudy has been putting on tape when it matters most. When the situation became even more revealing was during Harold Fannin Jr.'s follow-up media session, where the imbalance in targets could no longer be explained away as coincidence or game flow. Because when one receiver is being fed 14 targets while everyone else is barely involved, that is not accidental. It is strategic. And Harold's explanation that he simply executes the role he is given unintentionally confirmed that the coaching staff has narrowed its trust down to a very small circle. 14 targets for one player, while the rest of the receiving room gets scraps, reflects a staff that believes only certain players can be relied upon in critical moments. And when pressed about Shedeur Sanders finishing the final 3 games as the starter, Harold made it clear the belief inside the building remains strong that Shedeur will bounce back, reinforcing the idea that the organization is committed to giving him a real opportunity to prove himself. That commitment explains exactly why Jimmy Haslam intervened. Because you cannot fairly evaluate a quarterback when receivers fail to capitalize on well-thrown balls. And you certainly cannot judge decision-making when a perfectly placed pass turns into an interception off a receiver's hands. After the Bears game, it was openly acknowledged that Shedeur had moments where he looked like a rookie, following up a strong performance with an uneven one, missing a few throws and throwing an interception that officially went on his stat line, but was not entirely his fault, especially when one of those plays involved a dropped dime to Jerry Jeudy that directly resulted in a turnover. That moment became a turning point, because while quarterbacks are always judged harshly, ownership understood that continued evaluation without accountability elsewhere would be unfair, which is why Haslam pushed the organization to bring in competition, to see what Shedeur can do with receivers who are locked in, dependable, and prepared to help him succeed rather than hold him back. Insiders have been blunt about it, saying the Browns simply need more wide receivers. No debate, no excuses. And the Bears game was the breaking point, highlighted by interceptions that were credited to Shedeur, but visually told a different story when the ball hit receivers square in the chest and ended drives that should have ended in points. While Harold Fannin Jr. remained diplomatic in public, defending teammates and crediting defensive plays, the film tells a much harsher truth. And when you combine that with the reality that Shedeur Sanders has been officially locked in as the starter for the final 3 games of the season, the direction of this organization becomes impossible to misread. The Browns are not giving up on this offense. They are doubling down on Shedeur Sanders, believing in his upside while fully acknowledging his flaws as a rookie still learning under pressure, often without consistent protection or reliable separation downfield. Shedeur has flashed legitimate NFL-level talent, throwing absolute dimes, particularly to Isaiah Bond, but inconsistency naturally comes with inexperience. And that inconsistency is magnified when the supporting cast fails to execute at a professional level. That reality is precisely why Jamari Thrash is now part of this roster. Because ownership understands that quarterback development cannot happen in a vacuum, and that no young quarterback should be judged while throwing to receivers who cannot consistently finish plays. Moving forward, the Browns have made their stance unmistakably clear by reshaping the receiver room, committing to Shedeur through the most important stretch of the season, and rewarding players who show up when it matters most. With the Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cincinnati Bengals on deck, this becomes a defining stretch for Shedeur Sanders, a stretch that will test his growth, his resilience, and his ability to lead under real pressure. Now he has a new opportunity to show what he can do with improved support, while Jerry Jeudy's role is no longer secure. And whether this signing marks the beginning of the end for his time in Cleveland remains to be seen. One thing, however, is already clear. The Browns are choosing to build around Shedeur Sanders, and anyone who cannot help him succeed is officially on notice. Because Jimmy Haslam has made it clear that protecting his quarterback and the future of this franchise comes first. So, don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin.